Hello, this is George F551, and it's that time of year again where we do the Black Friday romp here at the Mall of Whitney Field, Leominster, Mass., my hometown mall. And we are on the first half, which I've mentioned will ultimately get wall pulled in the last video from last year. That's where they're going to cut the mall in half, and this half is going to become, as well as the Sears, a Costco. Meanwhile, there's still a few things left, like this rest and relaxation spa. And to the right, JoAnn's, they went out of business, so now there's another giant hole in the mall. So, the one thing I was surprised on, and it isn't showing right now, is how many people are actually here. And here's the Spencer's, which I have got people asking me to go inside and do a video. With the stuff that they apparently have in there nowadays, that's not a thing. Yeah, when I was a teenager, if we had this kind of stuff, we could have done that. But no, it's not suitable for YouTube. And we walked through the first quote-unquote anchor store. It's a junior anchor. Used to be an anchor. The Old Navy. Anyway, Burlington, which we will go through, is where Old Navy used to be. It's much more cramped, but they're saying that shopping is going to be bad this year. I'm not seeing that. This place, as well as many other stores, were quite crowded. Now this is, of course, Black Friday, as you can see in the date on the bottom. And this was done around 12:30 in the afternoon. So, as I stumble through words, showing you that the parking lot is pretty full. In fact, at this point, an employee asked me if I was looking for anything or not. So that was interesting. First time that's ever happened. And further up, I also was asked if I needed help. And I'm just doing what I do. Go around and see how things are. This was a tradition that my mother started sometime in the mid to late 80s, where her and I have this thing: we do not shop Christmas Eve. Get everything done by the 23rd at the latest. And then the new thing that happened is, you saw the line there. On the 24th, which I know that this is Black Friday, and the reason I bring that up is that this is where I used to do the Black Friday, but I used to do that at Solomon Pond, but now they have a DJ, which makes copyright a nightmare. And this place is always playing music. The Bath & Body Works, as you see there, is gone, and next to it, one I didn't know disappeared, was the Claire's. So yet, even more stores in this end of the mall dead. But then again, it's all going to become a Costco anyway. So, anyway, here's a store that started a couple years ago, and it's still doing okay. It's an anime store. Right now, you don't see anyone in there, but on the return trip, they're going to have a halfway decent crowd in there. And there's the finish line, which never seemed to have started. So, and these two kids blocking the road, and there's the old American Eagle Outfitters that used to exist. And Chuck E. Cheese was on the other side of that wall that's on the right. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna sit back and let you enjoy the video, and I will break in if anything of importance needs to be brought up. Two things I want to point out. First one is, look at that line. We will see it again. They got this snake formation going here, right behind that wall on the right. And we'll see that it literally goes all the way through the snake to the very end of that setup. Anyway, I did get a little sidetracked. Now, yes, I did bring up a tradition that was done on Christmas Eve, which I extended into Black Friday. In fact, here's the line. In fact, these two turned away and just decided to keep shopping because it's literally that distance we just walked 3 times over. So they're doing a lot. So anyway, this is kind of spawning from that family tradition I was telling you about, which started on Christmas Eves in the mid-80s. So, yeah, we would just go to the mall and watch people shop. Although my mother took it a little too far and we would just sit in the atrium and watch people for over an hour, which I didn't really need that. Neither did my father. We were both, yeah, okay, the first 15 minutes, yeah. Walk around, perhaps. But I continued the tradition, and I included Black Friday thereafter. And as I've said before, it used to be done at Solomon Pond till Copyright Nightmare, and I know this place is music everywhere anyway. Hence why there is going to be absolutely no audio from within. It's all silent. And I am going to bring up that this walkthrough, this Burlington is much cleaner than it was before. There was one large object that was in the floor, but to be fair, it looked like it was kind of hard to put back. But all in all, it seems nobody's just taking stuff out. There's that thing I was mentioning, whatever the pink thing was. As I was mentioning, there would be stuff all over the floor. And this unused space that they blocked off, it's getting more used up. So, wondering if they're getting rid of warehouses and just storing everything they need in their locations. I never quite understood why some of the bigger Burlingtons just cordoned off a bunch of real estate. I mean, they could have larger stores among the smaller form factors that they have now, but they want them all relatively the same size, so the strange thing is that they don't give up the space that they don't use. So my guess again is they're probably just turning that into their warehouses in local parts wherever they're located. So, yeah, this was a clean run here through the Burlington. It wasn't a pigsty. I would say very good job to the employees. In fact, I shouldn't say I would say it. I am saying it. You know, these are not, as you can tell just now, these are not rehearsed. Unless I really stumble really bad or really screw up, I just go with it. There's no script. Just do everything on the fly. So back out of the Burlington we go and heading towards the JCPenney. And again, bring something up if something comes about that warrants it. So sit back and enjoy. While I'm thinking of it and watching this as I go through it, I will point out that you might notice that, the camera wobbles a little more than it usually does. Oh, and Journey's decided to take a journey outside of the mall. As you can see there, it was there last time. Anyway, might notice that there's a bit of a bobble with the camera. Well, as I was saying, a few weeks ago, I kind of did a little tear on my left Achilles tendon. And it feels all right now, but I've been so used to favoring my right side because the left was injured. I notice in the footage that, the camera seems to rock back and forth like a ship a little bit. So you're wondering why it's rocking back and forth. That's pretty much why. Granted, there is a normal bobble anyway, but it's a little more than usual. I mean, everything's fine, but like I said, I've just got used to favoring my right side for a little bit, so yeah, I'm still favoring the trying to keep the left side a little underused to some degree. So, yeah, I thought I'd bring that up in case you're wondering why it seems to be doing that more than it usually does if you've been watching these videos. Anyway, we're heading into the food court. So I was just bringing something up, and I just wanted to bring that up. So, like I said, the hidden camera, I just set up and forget it, and if it leans, if it's wobbling, if it's not aiming correctly, then it is what it is. As well as, like I say, this is on the fly. The bakery is still doing pretty good. So I decided to walk close to the restaurants to show you what's here. The Golden Walk and this sushi restaurant and La Gaza Kitchen. I always kept calling it La Graza for some reason. Probably because I can't read. And probably just as good as I talk. And here's something I haven't seen in a restaurant before. A menu board display that has failed and is not being taken care of. And there's shoe department. We get to, when we come out of the JCPenney, we'll take another look deep inside. And over here, of course, right in front of JCPenney's is the Santa display. Unfortunately, right now, Santa was feeding his reindeer, if they still have that sign. That's what they would put up when I was a kid. There, the throne is missing a Santa. Anyway, we're going into the JCPenney. And again, I'm going to let you walk through or watch this walkthrough in silence in a little bit, but I just want to point out, as you can see there, it's busy. Although as I was making my lap around, it appears maybe everybody was doing a lap as I was doing it, because it looked kind of dead as I was going around, but there were people here. And there were a lot of people at the registers. Just happens that everybody has cleared out when I got around. Then again, if you saw the drive-through footage on the, on the introduction, there were a lot of cars at JCPenney. And there is the little hiccup that happens when the hidden camera finishes a 2.5 gig chunk and starts a new one. There's a little bit of a gap in between. See, there's some people there. So, yet again, I'm just going to go silent and let you enjoy the walkthrough. Again, until I see something I want to bring up. Outside of the fact that we're coming to this checkout area that's been stripped clean and no longer a checkout area. They could probably turn it into usable selling space, make another display or something. Anyway, time to go silent, let you enjoy. Normally at this point, which I forgot to do last year, I turn left and go by what used to be the Sephora and now is the JCPenney cosmetic store. I decided to go just a hair further up to show you, one, that there's a crowd there, and two, I'm today years old when I found out there was a second set of cash registers over in that corner. Never knew that. Well, then again, it is the women's department. What point would I have going there? And here we are doing our strafe of the cosmetics, and yeah, there's just a few there. It seems everybody emptied out as soon as I got around. That's okay. Anyway, we're gonna strafe it once more on this side, and then we're making our return trip, which will include a trip through Gardner Furniture Outlet. So, I'll let you sit and enjoy again, and then I'll come in a little later. What's so sad is, there again, the Rue 21 that went out of business a while ago. When this mall was practically dead, this corridor was the hot spot. It was pretty much all full on that other side and half full on this side. T-Mobile, yeah, doing a little. Not a lot. And of course the salons are doing pretty well. But yeah, even this area is dead. Although, if everybody in the other half of the building moves out and moves into this half of the mall, then it will be busy again. So the question is, anything that is still in the soon-to-be Costco, they kinda... hopefully they'll be in this part of the mall. And there's a Hot Topic. They were somewhat busy in there. Oh, and say hi to security. So yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta tell you. Now we're heading towards the Gardner Furniture Outlet, and then I'll break in. As you can see, now the anime store has a few people in there. But did you notice how this area, just a little where we passed, ton of people? especially this area that's practically dead outside of the Old Navy. And they're saying things are getting worse, although for this mall it pretty much is getting worse. But a lot of foot traffic, surprisingly. So, down this corridor, where Gardner Furniture Outlet is, and supposedly they were supposed to have moved out of here early to mid-month, but they're still here. Apparently, either they're going to finish out the month or end early December, not sure. But they're moving out of the mall into a new location. So, again, they're making room for Costco. I think this building may get leveled. So this is the the building that had the shortest lifespan. And if it's getting knocked down, it only stood for 22 years. It opened in 2004 as a Filene's and then changed into Macy's when they bought out Filene's. It's a bit spotty, but there were several customers here. The recliner area near the end is pretty busy. Apparently no one cares about bedding. And one thing you will see, although I couldn't do it on the opposite end because employees are right there, is when I get to the displays that are near the escalators, I go up and I stare up the hole into the black void, which used to be the second floor of Macy's. Alright, so I'm going to go silent again, and when we go to rugs, we're going to do just that, as we just did there. Although, the one thing I will point out is, I like these touch screens, although I think they could use a better contrast display. Those seem pretty washed out looking. Anyway, yeah, busy here, busy there. Some spots not so much. They're going to be moving out of here in a month at most. See you a little bit. And so, more or less, ends our tour of the Mall of Whitney Field as it stands on Black Friday 2025. Once again, looking over to the left, the Claire's is gone. I didn't actually notice that it was gone until I walked by it at this point. And of course, the mall likes to cover up every window or grate so you can't look into the vacant spaces. There's the Old Navy again. And again, yet another salon, so we know they do pretty well, as we will notice as we go past it. And it was really hard to see. Oh, by the way, there's Santa. Yeah, it was really hard to see, but they have people in there now. And once again, we are looking at the dead JoAnn's, a giant chunk of real estate that will forever be gone. As for the Costco, I'm not sure what they're doing. My bet is that they're going to either completely gut and reuse just the framing that exists already, or if it's an entirely different structure, it all might get bulldozed. So, last thing we're gonna do is pick up there. New segment, Lens Crafters, looking, and definitely a lot of people getting glasses today. Mostly elderly, a couple of younger people. And then we just look down this way, show you that there's absolutely nothing there. And we turn around and we head out of the building. And that is the tour. Well, for how little is in there as more and more stores are disappearing, especially on this end to make way for the Costco, I'm surprised how many people are actually here. And they're saying that shopping is going to be way down. It's going to be a disaster. If this is any indication, that isn't true. It's a bit windy out today. Hopefully this is coming out. If not, I'll probably just mute this and then add some commentary afterwards. So this is Black Friday, Mall of Whitney Field 2025, Leominster, Massachusetts. Georgia 551 saying, hope you enjoyed and have a good one.